Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Big Blue Offensive Podcast with Mike Trainer, Jay Jules, and John Depot. Yo, what's up, New York fam? Welcome to the BBO NYG podcast. I am not alone this week. I got the crew back and special guests. Jules is back, John is back, and special guest Vin is here. Guys, 7-2, man. I'll let you guys take it away. Man, I'm happy. I'm in a good mood this week.
Oh yeah, bro. I went to the game, man. It was so much fun. For the first time in my life, I sat like directly in the end zone, like right between the uprights, almost like it was second tier, like halfway up. But it was like watching a game, like almost like playing Madden. Like it was like that straight behind the fucking play camera, or like on defensive side. But it's so sick, man. 7-2. That's I don't know how you can be upset right now as a Giants fan. Like I don't know how you can go through just be disappointed right now. There's still people who are, but 7-2. You took care of business against a team that you were supposed to win against. Maybe we should have won by more. Football's football, right? We fucking came out with an 8-point win, and that's all that matters. And Daniel Jones was perfect, so that's all I gotta
say. Perfect passer rating. That's right.
All right. Well, listen, I'm actually back from a 2-week hiatus. Sometimes winning can like fucking make you want to just like think of other things because you're like, oh, the Giants won again. Oh, we had a bye week, but actually we didn't. We were coming off of one of our second losses of the season and then the bye week going into Houston. But, it's all said. It's all done. We're back. We're here. It's all good. I mean, look, the Giants are now in second place in the NFC East, one game out thanks to Washington last night on Monday Night Football. In addition to the fact that literally, guys, we are one game out of being the number one seed in the NFC complete conference. Okay.
Yeah,
now, look, there's still a little more science there because I was going to go tweet it out, but I didn't want to make it sound like I was hating or anything because I was far from it. But the reality is that technically, if they lose and we win, we're all in a tie for first place. But let's not get too crazy and technical. It would still be that we're that fucking close to almost competing for fucking home field advantage. I mean, if you would have sat there and told me, bro, I'm just saying, but like if you would have sat there and told me that at the beginning of the year, we'd have a better record than the Rams, the Bucks, the fucking Cowboys, the Bills.
I did
tied with Kansas City.
I said we're gonna be 13-4.
I would have been like, you're fucking ridiculous. Stop being such homers.
Every year I say we're gonna be 13-4, and finally I'm gonna be right, or even better.
You're gonna lose as many games and less games than you played. So technically, we're on track for more than fucking 13-4 right now. Technically speaking.
Yeah, right.
Riding this wave is nice to see because even on our Super Bowl runs with Eli, we didn't have a lot of good like regular season records like this. You know what I mean? We had a few in there. What was it? 2012? The year that
2008 was a good record. So Plax.
Yeah. The year that Plax like shot himself and it all went to shit after that. Team was solid. But to have a regular season record the way we're winning, you know what I mean? I'll take it. I'll love it. And just ride this wave. And let's bring it in, next week against Detroit.
Barkley fucking went nuts again, man. He had like, what do you have? Fucking 1 million carries, 35. Like Houston.
Yeah, those are Madden numbers.
Dude, Madden numbers all the way. Like Houston, just like actually make an attempt to like stop the run at least, But they kept feeding the ball. There was no reason to just pass 40 fucking times. Daniel Jones threw for a perfect passer rating. We had plays of the game. Darius Slay came out the woodwork, making a nice turnaround, yards after the catch for that touchdown. Their defense just played well again. Guys like Jihad Ward, which is my favorite defensive player on the Giants, my man after the play, like after the pick or whatever, or the turnover, my man just started doing somersaults in midfield. I'm like, yo, my guy, I started doing somersaults too.
I'd like to see you do those.
I could. I almost hurt my neck, but like I made it, man. I'm here.
Speaking of Jihad Ward, man, I one thing that stuck out to me. When you're at the game and they show you the replays, like after the play, you don't get like the broadcast replays most of the time. You just get like a quick fucking thing and you can miss it in a second. And sometimes they just have the camera on the players. And there was one point late in the game, I would say probably late third quarter, or early fourth quarter, around that time. But the crowd was going, was loud as fucking. They were going crazy, and ended up costing was a delay game, causing a delay game on the Texans. And like the stadium's going crazy, and then they get the delay game, throw the flag, and then everybody erupts again, obviously. And then the camera's on Jihad Ward, and you see him like salute the crowd like that was you guys. It's a pretty cool fucking moment. I like that guy a lot, Jihad Ward.
It just goes to show you how many people are stepping up this season that were unexpected or didn't think you were going to have a big role on this team. And they're just literally taking it to the extreme. And they're, I hate to use the word, but you've probably heard it enough this season where the coaching staff is squeezing everything they can out of all these players, and they're returning it, and they're showing up. And that's why, the guys like Jihad Ward are stepping up, and then you look at some of the other guys that were expected to be the big guy on the team, right? With Thomas at left tackle, but he's playing outstanding. I mean, this dude, if he continues this pace and doesn't make the Pro Bowl, I'm going to be shocked, okay? Because like that's the level he's playing at.
He's first team All Pro right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's shy. Like this is incredible fucking things that they're getting out of players. Adoree Jackson, he's been a true number one shutdown fucking corner this year. Like there's this guy stepping up, and then, obviously the Barkley and the Daniel Jones and all that kind of shit, and then Slayton coming out of the woodwork, coming back from a team where it looked like he was going to be cut and just being a free agent that maybe gets signed to a practice squad, to taking a pay cut and coming back and being relevant for the Giants right now. I mean, there's just a lot to say about, being through the last few years like we were and actually bringing in a coaching staff. I mean, look, obviously Dable's the head dude, so he's going to get most of the credit. But what Wink has done and Kafka's done, like you just can't talk enough about it, man. It's fucking been incredible to see what coaching does to a team.
And then before you go, I just want to touch base on that topic, Jules. This coaching staff, I think, like if God forbid our team like really went down where like 8 or 10 players got hurt in a single game, I think this coaching staff could just grab people out the stands and put a helmet on them and make them play football, and they'd be fucking awesome. Like I can't
at least competitive. We'd be at least competitive at the least.
It's nuts. Like this coach said an amazing, tremendous job. It's just, you're right. They're getting the best out of these guys. It's really great to see, and they're all fucking like young, 26 and younger. It's fantastic.
They're all young.
On your point, the what's it called? Like all these guys that are coming off the street, they're post-August signings, you know what I mean? Like you said about Slayton before, we thought Slayton was dead in the water after the Washington game last year with the drops. It was a mental thing, but we had to rely on him because he's the only guy that's a seasoned vet that's got some talent. He's been there before, he's done it before. But these guys like Fabian Moreau, what a fucking job Wink has done with him. Guy's been to 6 different teams in like 7 different years, and Wink sat him down and was like, dude, you want a contract, you got to ball out. Like Aaron Robinson, you know what I mean? Like, I think Moreau has done a fantastic job. He got beat. I thought he got pushed off on the Nico Collins fade route in the end zone. But whatever, he's a shorter in stature. Like Jules said, Adoree has played excellent. I don't like him returning punts. I think that's very dangerous. I'm not a fan of that. I think maybe throw Darnay Holmes to do that. I don't know. Anybody but Adoree. We lose him, we're in a lot of trouble.
Ben, after every punt, like he was about to catch a punt, I literally closed my eyes and hid under a blanket. I
don't like that he's doing it. I don't like that.
I think I did a couple of shots and just kept drowning my fear.
But think about like who the fuck is Cager? I know with the Jets. This guy looked like a wide receiver out there in the red zone. You know what I mean? So a lot of these guys we don't know. Tanner Hudson laid out a nice block to get Slayton that touchdown. You know what I mean? Where Slayton, put on the Jets. I don't know. There's just, how about coming out with like 8 guys on that offensive line? Like we said, our game plan was they got a poor run defense. We're going to run the ball down your throats. It wasn't even Daniel Jones running it. It was straight Saquon all day long. And it's great. It's great to see that this team adapts. they're conservative in their play calling, but they adapt to what the defense gives them. And Wink has been, to reiterate Jules's point, Wink has been the MVP here. What he's done with this defense that's got holds and stuff like that has been a fantastic job. And one last shout out to Dexter Lawrence, who's definitely playing at a Pro Bowl status. We need to pay that man. We pay him early.
Best trade piece of the Odell Beckham trade.
If I'm not mistaken, just real quick, just to piggyback on that, I believe PFF, who I've hated on multiple times this season,
fuck him,
has both Dexter Lawrence and fucking Leonard Williams in the top 10 for defensive players this past week. I believe one was at like 3 or 4, the other one was at like 6. So
they got better. They got better. PFF got better.
Yeah. It's hard to deny. Yeah, they just can't beat up on the Giants because it's just it doesn't make any sense. It's illogical to do. Like they're a 7-2 team. They've been playing well. They've been the better team on the football field almost every single game this season so far. Just that day, they've been the better team every single week, except for against Dallas and then against the Seahawks. And they could have won both of those games if not for a couple of plays here and there. But Vin, you brought up that with the offensive lineman thing with Kafka. I was listening to Carl Banks talk about the game and how they were running out. And being at the game, you hear, 65 is eligible, 74 is eligible. You hear that all the time. You don't hear it as much when you're watching on the broadcast at home. You hear it sometimes, but like at the stadium, you hear it every fucking play. And every play was like 1 or 2 or 3 guys reported as eligible. So he goes, it was like a parade of elephants or a stampede of rhinoceroses. Or rhinoceri, stampede of rhinoceri. So I texted the guys in the group chat. I was like, the title of this episode's got to be Stampede of Rhinoceri. Just because of Carl Banks.
Rhinoceri eligible.
Can I ask you guys a question? Why don't the whole offensive line just be like, yo, I'm eligible, man. I might go out. Even the center be like, yo, I might do this. This might be my time to shine. And then you won't even get that stupid.
There's a rule against you to have to have 5 down offensive linemen like that, but
yeah.
You think so?
There is a rule. There is a rule.
Then like Nick Gates, bro. I mean, Matt Purr came back. You got to mention Matt Purr coming back from a bad injury last year. But Nick Gates, man, it's just so nice to see him, bro. You're coming in, making plays, just knocking people over, finding guys to block, running upfield, trying to just get as much into the game as you possibly can, bro. I can't wait for the point where they feel comfortable enough to put him out there. Glowinski hasn't been playing well. Why can't Gates be the right guard right now? Why not?
Could happen.
And he might. Listen, first game back, they're working him in slow. Give him a couple weeks.
Played a few games at this
point. You're gonna well, you know what I'm trying to say. Like you give him a few more weeks. Coming off the bye and everything else. Listen, down the stretch, he could be a key asset for us on offensive line for sure.
That'd be a big surprise.
But real quick though, 10 weeks into the season, just thinking about it, and being able to say this, because obviously if you go back to any of our episodes in August or even early September, you would not hear me saying this. And if someone would have tapped me on my shoulder back in August and told me that this is true, I would have been like, you guys are out of your fucking mind. There's no way in hell. And if you want, like Mike always says on the show, I'll bet my fucking house that it's not going to be the case. Okay. That the Giants have a better record than the Cowboys, the Packers, the Bucks, the 49ers, the Cardinals, the Rams, and that's just the NFC. Okay. The Bills, the Ravens, the Titans, and they're tied with the Chiefs. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Those are all teams that we discussed that could be in the Super Bowl contending type stature, could be going in and winning their divisions outright. And yet the Giants, 10 weeks into the season, have better records than every team mentioned with the exception of Kansas City, where we're tied with them. I mean, dude,
I can't believe it, Jules.
It's almost mind-boggling to say that this is a fucking actual conversation that we're having.
And dude, like I said, like the young team that's fucking that we're building here to start off year one. You know how many people are gonna get attracted to want to come to the Giants and play football? Like that's why I say some people don't think Odell Beckham's coming. Bet your fucking sweet ass. Put all your fucking money on it that Odell Beckham Jr. is coming back home. People want to play here, and this coaching staff is making a huge difference, man. We should be excited for the next 10 years. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, people
maybe
want
20.
To play here, and it's not just like. Yeah, people want to play it, but it's not even just like, oh, it's New York, they're winning games. Like, no, this coaching staff is maximizing players' talent. And from what I understand, I was never an athlete really in my life, but, I played sports and, organized sports still. Players want to get coached, especially really good players. and you're good enough to make it to the NFL, bro, you want coaching. You want to be able to be the best version you can be for your own legacy. And then also, and there's no shame in saying it, fucking payday, bro. Like you're trying to be in the NFL because you want to make $1 million or $20 million a fucking year, right? If you didn't care about that part of it, that might have a little bit less chance of being that successful in the league for a lot of players.
They want to pop champagne when they're thirsty, John.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like you have a lot of different reasons why players are going to want to come here, and if Odell does come here, bro, that would be pretty fucking wild because now you have Slayton as your second wide receiver, Odell and as your primary, and still have Saquon and Jones's legs. You got some with the coaches we have. You got a fucking interesting setup there to go down the stretch, and into the playoffs. It'd be a pretty wild thing to see.
Don't forget
Galladay.
Galladay.
Circus, but it'll be wild.
Well.
It'll be fun.
Did he mention Wendell? We'll talk about Galladay in a minute. But then with Wendell mixed in there, I hope so.
He's a slot receiver, but
fine. You know what? Now they can put him in that role with two receivers that actually are going to draw attention outside, and that can free things up in the middle, which is only going to help us moving forward. And in reality, and here's the if Odell is really healthy, because his timetable has been pushed back throughout the season. So it's a big if. We don't know when he's going to be 100% healthy. But apparently, from what I've been reading, the four teams that are being mentioned considerably for him are the 49ers, the Cowboys, the Bills, and the Giants, right? To me, I think the 49ers are just in that conversation after they made a huge move with Christian McCaffrey and things like that, and they have Debo, they got the guys. I don't see where the appeal would be to sign there. As far as the Cowboys go, look, dude, it would be hard to see him go to that team just because, right? It can happen, but it just doesn't make sense, which literally leads me down to the last two teams where I can honestly see him end up is with us or with Buffalo, right? And Buffalo, he's got Von Miller. He's got a few other guys that are trying to draw him in. I mean, listen, Gabe Davis has been good, but he hasn't been that guy. McKenzie's looked good at times, but he's faded at others. Yeah. You pair him up with Stephon Diggs, with Josh Allen. Oh my God, dude. They literally might be the difference to take the extra step. So, it's a family now in a sense, because we have drawn in a lot of personnel and coaches from the Buffalo Bills. So that whole sort of coaching staff and system is kind of in place on both teams. And it's not even going to be a mix of do I go back home or do I go there? It's really going to come down to I think what's going to make a difference in how healthy he is.
Well, Jules, look how what happened. Buffalo lost Dable, right? He came to the Giants. All of a sudden, Daniel Jones looks fucking fantastic, and now fucking Josh Allen, he definitely fucking took a step back, man. He looked like shit.
I don't know if I want to say took a step back because I have had Josh on a lot of my fantasy teams and followed him closely, but he had a little bit. He had a little bit of this lull, if you'll call it, last year. He lost to Jacksonville where they only put up 3 points when they were down there. He had another loss, later, around that same time. They struggled against another team and pulled out a tight win. So, it does reoccur. But however, listen, you're right. I mean, it's clear that Dable and Dorsey, who their offensive coordinator currently is, are two different fucking guys. You know what I mean? They just saw, obviously they are missing Dable, but that's the reason why he's got a head coaching job. And that's the reason why his team is sitting at 7-2 and he might win coach of the year. I mean, so yeah, you're going to see some growing pains with them adjusting to the new offensive coordinator, just like you're going to see growing pains with any new coaches or in staff. There are going to be times that he's going to make some rookie mistakes, whether it's this year or next or down the stretch. We don't know. I mean, but the point of the matter is that at 7-2, if we split, play 500 ball the rest of the way out, I don't see how we don't make the playoffs. I mean, it's incredible that you could be sitting at week 10 in that position.
You can go 2-6 the rest of the way and still fucking make the playoffs.
Still have a really good shot, right? For real.
9-7 is a playoff team now. That's just what it is.
Well, it would be 9-7.
The third wild card spot most likely, but there was times where teams with 500 records. Or now recently 8-7 was a wild card. So you get some 8-9 was a wild card. Now, you got 9 wins. That's 2 wins away. By the time you're taking your Thanksgiving shit, we can have those 2 wins, literally.
Sure.
You also don't want to back into the playoffs, though.
No.
Never.
We have divisional games here that we've been waiting for now. We got a nice little cushion. But not really, because everybody in our division's been pretty good. So I think these games are going to be very telling of where we are as a team. What can we do in this year one of rebuild? Jules, back to your point about Odell. I wouldn't discount the Cowboys. If anything, I would say they're the front runner. Just because Jerry Jones has been, he keys in on a guy like Odell. He likes that flashy type of star. He always gets them. You know what I mean? So, and it's the Cowboys. They're still, we hate them, but they're still America's team. They still generate a lot of interest. You know, I think Dallas is, if anything, is more than the front runner than any of the other teams. The Giants are an interesting, viable option. I don't know if I want Odell just based on the injuries. We're talking about 2 ACLs. He played what 5-6 games for the Rams last year, where he hurt himself in the Super Bowl, and he's still showing the flat. What is he now? 30? Is he 30 years old?
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I don't know if he would be perfect for our locker room. What we got going on, we got young guys. We got a good program going on. I was a fan of when we trade. The one Gettleman move I really got behind is trading Odell. I loved Odell the first 3 years he was here. He was amazing.
Yeah.
But we lost a lot of games. And you know what? Since Odell was able to run those sidelines the way he did with a lot of those shenanigans, and I was there in Lambeau when he dropped the ball, the boat trip game and all that, it left a bad taste in my mouth with him. And then he goes on a Lil Wayne interview and he talks shit about Eli. He talks shit about Eli with 2 Super Bowl rings. What are you going to do to Daniel Jones when he's like in the huddle, give me the ball, give me the ball? So I'm not,
rookie, no less.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Odell in New York. You know,
Ben, that's why we get a lot of people on social media that when we bring that up, they're like, oh, we don't care. We love Odell. They sweat his junk so much, but you do not disrespect your MVP quarterback that won 2 Super Bowls, and he
won before him. He's won before.
Yeah, he's won before him, and he made Odell Beckham throwing all those bombs, those slants. He made him. You know what I mean? And I'm just hoping he comes back more mature and kind of make amends for that kind of shit. Just acknowledge it. You know what I mean? Maybe it'll make
humbled.
I think so. I want to believe that. I mean, he did turn 30th. He had his 30th birthday party. I mean, I don't know. You guys weren't invited. It's crazy. You should have been. But
Kyle was there.
But you know what I'm saying? Hopefully at that time, he had a long time to go to Cleveland, go to these other places. Maybe even winning the Super Bowl kind of humbled him and realized that he has some work to done and that he did kind of fuck up when he was here. I hope he takes accountability like that.
What if he did some crazy shit said, all right, whoever wins on Thursday for Thanksgiving, that's the team I'm fucking playing for.
That'd be some really obnoxious shit, dude. I can see you doing something like that. I don't know about Odell. Holy shit. That's gonna be the week though that the decision is made.
That's what I would say so. It times up just about right. And the funny thing is, 3 of the 4 teams I mentioned all play on Thanksgiving.
Hey, Jules, he should
Detroit
come out.
Buffalo, we play the Cowboys, so that's pretty fucking crazy.
Odell should come out with a big turkey, like I'm coming to the Giants, and just give everybody fucking.
He pops out of the turkey like they're supposed to call him shit.
Eat a whole fucking
Giants jersey and shit. He's like 13 back, bitches.
He opens up the turkey he fucking shoves his hand up the turkey's ass, pulls out a big giant batter, like, yeah, I'm coming home.
Would you guys want to give him a multi-year deal?
Yes, that's the only way he's coming back if it's a multi-year deal.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, but I mean he can want that, but if no one else offers it to him, we don't have to give it.
They will. Like the money really don't mean anything.
He hasn't done a multi-year deal in a while though.
The money don't mean anything. He wants to have a place that he don't want to bounce around. So he wants to stay at one place. That's why I think it appeals. I can't see him being, because he's boys with Shep, boys with Barkley. I can't see him going to the Cowboys and be like, big fuck you to my friends. I think he wants to team up with them and beat the Cowboys. And I think you're going to hear it's going to be a big announcement. And that's all they're going to talk about on Thanksgiving when everybody's around the TV. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen.
I don't know. I for some reason I do have a feeling that it's more likely he goes to the Giants than anywhere else. And I don't see him going to the Cowboys. I feel like that's the least likely place for him to go. And frankly, I don't even understand how these other teams even can afford to sign somebody and we can't. Like, we have no fucking players that have high contracts except for fucking Leonard Williams and Kenny Golladay, and we can't fucking sign somebody. Like, I don't understand. that shit's all fugazi, the whole cap shit, bro. That's something weird about that shit.
I want to
doesn't
throw
add up.
Kenny. I want to throw Kenny Galladay in a dumpster when Odell Beckham arrives here.
Honestly, I feel bad for the guy, bro.
Me too, but he sucks.
I mean, I feel bad. Like
he's making millions of dollars to do shit.
Yeah,
he's fine. He's fine.
Just as like a professional, like to kind of fall off a cliff like that, and it's not even like it's even just like you could say it's just his talent fell off. He got injured. He's not the same player anymore. It's his head, bro. You know, he was never a receiver that was getting open and beating people, like out athleting people. He just bodied people up because he's a monster, 6'4", 240, whatever the fuck he is. He's a big dude, and that was his game forever. And not being able to continue to do that right now is purely a mental thing. And I mean, now he's got balls hitting him in the fucking hands, like consistent. Like he's got more drops, he's got catches. And I think that might be consistent, like all the way through fucking this year. And then you go back a few games into last year, you could pick some games out too where that was the case. It's pretty wild. It's really wild.
I honestly, when it comes to Galladay, I would still play him. He has the most talent on in our wide receiver core, at least in red zone packages. Fucking keep playing him. Until he continues to do these drops and stuff like that. I was hoping for something out of the bye again. I was like, let me give this guy a last chance. And yeah, like it's fucking sucks like that. He's going through. I agree with John. Like there's a mental block going on there because that second ball was so like catchable. It's a joke. It's like he doesn't want to get hit. Yeah, I don't. Maybe he's afraid to get hit. I don't know what I can't. I don't know. He says the right things in like the locker room and the press conferences. Maybe he's well rehearsed. I don't fucking know, but I don't know. I feel like he's got to be on this roster. We can't cut him till at least next year. So I would play him. Like I don't care. Red zone package. Fucking throw him out there for a fade route. Like get the confidence going. I don't know. I'd play him.
I would change the locks at MetLife. When he shows up, he can't get in.
That's what it is.
Like that meme of that Jet player, I think it is, that goes to
but the card,
he forgot his passcode, he got locked out. Yeah,
Kenny Galladay be out there like, why ain't my car working, man? For like hours. Like, yo, dude, just get out of here.
Well, I think the best thing that I saw the whole day was fucking the kid that comes like running out of the seats. He's got to be all of maybe 14 years old tops, and he's like, do something. And then he like comes back and his dad's like consoling him a little bit and everything. I was like, bro, that shit sums up everything I've been saying for the last fucking 6 months about him.
Jules, if Kenny Galladay was like at the bottom of your building and your building was on fire, I wouldn't toss babies out the window to him because he'd fucking drop it. Like he's fucking terrible. I can't believe it. How far he's just falling off this cliff it's wild, man.
He might go down as the worst free agent signing for the Giants ever. Ever.
Yeah.
And listen, you know what's crazy?
Saying so.
I actually started getting a little nervous because when the practice of him during the bye week and all that shit was coming out, he looked like he was hustling. He looks like he was started stepping. And I'm like, oh shit, this dude's gonna have a crazy second half, and I'm gonna have to fucking eat a hell of a lot of crow because I fucking ripped him apart for the last fucking 3 months. And nope. Fucking first play, he's wide open. It probably would have been like a 30-yard fucking gain, if not more. He dropped the fucking pass with no defender on him, no nothing. I was just like, and then I see the kid come running down, yelling, do something, and I want to high five that motherfucker.
All right, so we've bashed Kenny Galladay now for a few minutes. There's players on this team that deserve some serious recognition, and I think we need to spend a couple minutes talking about Daniel Jones. Yet again, another fucking perfect game. Not even just like perfect game, like literally perfect, but a game where he makes zero mistakes. He does exactly what's asked of him, maximizes every single thing that he could possibly do as a quarterback to facilitate this offense running through Saquon Barkley. When they need a fucking conversion, he threw the ball. I think he dropped back 20 times, and 10 of those times were on third downs. And he converted like 6 or 7 of them. So I mean, this kid he's not put up big numbers, but that's because that's never been the game plan. They have the best running back and best rushing attack in the NFL. Moving away from that will be a dereliction of duty. So he's not going to put up these flashy numbers unless they get behind in a game big time where it's really kind of come back. But that's 3 scores, and they haven't been down 3 scores in any game yet so far this season.
He's not turning the ball over. It's amazing.
He's not turning the ball over. He's making smart decisions. That sack that he took, the people around me were like, oh, how do you take a sack? How do you take a sack? I'm like, well, that was a smart play. That kept the clock rolling, didn't stop the clock. He
He's a
didn't
genius.
throw the ball where it can get intercepted or fumbled it. All he did is fucking hold on to the ball, kept the clock fucking running, punt the ball away, and rely on a defense that's been playing well and had 2 magic plays in the red zone again, basically in the end zone turnovers. This kid, the amount of hate that he's gotten in the last 4 years from within this fan base on this podcast. I'm looking at the 2 guys on the bottom of my screen here, Jules and Ben.
I'm gonna respond. I'll definitely respond.
But I mean, the kid's playing excellent ball all year. He had 1 bad play in week 1, got lit up for it by Brian Dable on the sidelines. You saw him kind of react to it, and then since that moment, he's been prolific as far as just being an effective, efficient quarterback. And I mean, why can't you be happy for this kid? Like, as a Giants fan, I get, like, if you're somebody else, you're not watching the team, like, you played in fantasy once, you lost him, like, you don't like him, whatever. But within this fan base, like, seeing what this kid could do, seeing the crosstown Jets draft quarterback after quarterback through your entire life. You're 40 years old, you're 50 years old. They haven't had a quarterback that they can rely on for an extended period of time since fucking the 60s with Joe Namath. You've seen that story before, and you have somebody here who's maybe not a Lamborghini fucking souped up, but that's a fucking Corvette ZR1, bro. That shit'll kick your ass. I love the kid.
I take it. All right.
I'm ready.
Daniel Jones has played efficient, managed games very well. The confidence is growing.
5 come from behind wins though, Vin. That's not game manager. 7 wins, 5 come from behind wins. Some by multiple touchdowns. The 14 points, 10 points, 13-point comebacks. You can't say game manager when those things are on your resume, because most quarterbacks that aren't game managers, that are considered prolific quarterbacks, don't have those kinds of accolades.
But I will say this, though. I said from the beginning of the year, we need to play the season out before we talk contract. Like, he doesn't get a contract yet, to me. He's got to play the rest of the season. He's got to stay healthy. I've always said that. People make comparisons to Daniel Jones to Eli. Eli was there every Sunday. Jones has not really proven yet that he could play through a full season. Is he doing it now? Let's hope so. I don't like him running, period. I like my quarterback to stay in the pocket. That's number 1, is health-wise. Number 2, he is definitely growing in confidence, and he's playing, smart, third down. He's making a lot of plays. But in those games that we're watching that we're coming from behind, what the heck are we doing in the first half? There's a lot of 3 and outs. Again, and you're going to probably tell me we have no receivers and this and that. Then we'll never get, you know what I mean? We'll see. We're going to play better teams now. We're going to play divisional games. Detroit can put points on the board. Giant fans, relax on if you think this is an easy win. I think it's going to be a game, because Detroit could put up points with St. Brown when they're healthy, with Swift, Jamal Williams. Like, they could score. Like, can we get into it? And the defense has done really well, and key turnovers. But I will say this, Jones has definitely turned the corner in my eyes. I see the confidence. I see the efficiency out of him. He's definitely grown as a quarterback. Definitely. Like, the bad mistakes just aren't there, but he dropped back 17 times against the Texans. I know that was the game plan. We were going to run, but 17 times is 17 times. You know what I mean? When we get into a shootout, can we rely on Daniel Jones to hang with whoever the great quarterbacks of the league?
So you say that, but at the same time, he's also thrown for 30 times in multiple games and has maintained a 67 plus completion percentage the entire season. He's done it. And, people go out there and fucking cry about Aaron Rodgers not having fucking Devontae Freeman, cry about this guy being hurt and that guy being hurt and all this stuff. And Daniel Jones has nobody. I mean, Darius Slayton's a 5th-round pick. He's a nice receiver, but on his best day, he's a really good number 2 at the best. On his best day. He doesn't have a number 1 receiver. He doesn't have a number 2 receiver. He barely has a number 3 receiver, because, I mean, Wandell catches 2-3 catches a game the most at this point in his career. So he's somehow maintaining a way above average completion percentage. And if you factor in like that EPOA or whatever it is, expected completion percentage over average, or whatever, completion percentage over expected, whatever that metric is that the fucking nerds talk about, the geeks talk about. He's one of the tops in the league. and he's doing with nobody. All these other quarterbacks have Stephon Diggs, have fucking Tyreek Hill, have fucking, this guy and that guy. We don't. And he's still able to maintain doing that. So I'm not necessarily worried about his ability to do it, because I feel like whatever sample size we've given him, he's excelled, and he's fighting with one hand tied behind his back.
So you have no worries about Daniel Jones? You have no concerns whatsoever?
I would sign him right now. I'd give him 4 years, $25 million a year guaranteed. See you later.
4 years, $25 million a year.
All right, so
guaranteed. Give him a 9-figure check with a bunch of zeros on it. Say, Daniel, we're going to see you. We'll revisit this conversation in the summer or the spring of 2026. Thank you for being our quarterback. We love you. See you later.
I think that I got to kind of go with Vin just from the health standard of things, right? You need to see him play the rest of the season. You just do, because that's the only question mark that still exists in his game currently. Because hold on, come on. Everybody heard about your Daniel.
That's his only question mark.
Let's get a different perspective here for a second here, simply because the injury is a thing that's hanging over his career at this point. The turnovers are way down. No one expected him, and I'm going to repeat that. No one expected him to go out and throw 35 touchdown passes this year. That was just not happening. If you go back in time and follow the head coach that we currently have, if he really is this quarterback whisperer, and you take Josh Allen's season prior to them getting Stephon Diggs, and you run those numbers versus what Daniel Jones is doing this season, you'll see a hell of a lot of similarity there. And what did the Bills do? They lost to Houston that year in the playoffs, and they went out and signed Stephon Diggs, or traded for him rather, with Minnesota, and got him in there. And then Allen was able to take that game to that next step because he had that one full season of health, that one full season of just turning down what he used to do bad, correct that, get the turnovers down, and he progressed as a quarterback and matured. I could see Daniel doing that. And if he makes it through the season, or at least maybe makes it the rest of the way, missing a game or two or something of that less, and all of a sudden is there, and we're going to bring in the right guys for him, then yeah, you sign this motherfucker, because you know what? You're going to get him out of the bargain when you sign him for $25 million a year, which in this day and age with quarterbacks is a fucking
cheap.
Deal.
That's cheap.
You know what I'm trying to say? So he agrees to that shit. You cannot go
He's
wrong.
not getting 40. He knows he's not getting 40. His agent knows he's not getting 40. That's not on the table for Daniel Jones. The only quarterbacks that get that kind of money have statistically prolific seasons, and he's not playing an offense that's going to do that. Maybe next year, if they give him a 1-year extension only, and then they do get that fucking top the number 1 draft pick or first round draft pick receiver, or some Odell comes back healthy, or whatever receiver they can get in free agency, select a trade market over the offseason, and then he does put up 35 touchdowns, then we'll have a conversation, because we'll make the playoffs 2 years in a row probably. Then he'll be, in a conversation about.
John, let me ask you: do you think there's competition from other teams that would sign Jones this summer?
This summer, right now,
yeah,
100%. Oh my god!
So how much are they coming in at? It's going to be more than 25.
Maybe, because this is the thing. With the things that Daniel Jones is doing right now, he's shown he can do throughout his entire career, going back to the first game of his career. It was just a matter of it being consistent. And now he's got a coaching staff that can actually get the consistency out of him. So I don't know that teams are going to be willing to throw $35, $32 million a year at him, because he's not going to be coming with Daboll and Kafka or Kafka, in a world where, a team fired their the Colts fired their head coach, right? Jeff Saturday's not going to say the head coach over there. They bring they say, you know what? We're going to take a shot on Kafka. We're going to bring in Daniel Jones. Maybe they're willing to give him a little bit more money because you got Kafka coming with him. But except for a circumstance like that, I just don't see anybody coming in super, super high. And frankly, if I'm Jones, I may take a few $1 million a year, haircut to stay in New York with this coaching staff, because they were able to get the best out of me. And as a quarterback that can play 15 years in the league, if I could sacrifice a couple of years of salary to make myself a household name and be a starting quarterback until I'm 35, 36 years old, I'll get that money back 100 times over again if I stay with Daboll.
I think you're underestimating the quarterback market. It's totally bloated.
Hold on. I got a crazy, super hypothetical question that could kind of correlate to what this conversation is going. Okay?
I hate it already, Jules.
I know. It's too many words. I understand. No.
I'm about to mute you guys.
No, but let's just say no matter where you picked, right? It doesn't matter if you're in the top 10 or the bottom 10 in picks for next year's draft coming, right? if a genie came into the office and said, no matter where you guys pick New York Giants, whatever position you pick, you will be guaranteed that they will finish as a top 3 rookie in that position. What position are you guys taking? Mike, since we haven't heard from you, you go first.
Is this genie hot?
Yeah, you can make the genie whatever the fuck you want it to look like.
But I don't know how much.
If you're into 3 nipples, you got them.
Then whatever she says, man. What position, dude? 100%
What
wide
position
receiver.
you guaranteed a top 3 rookie with that position in that year?
Wide receiver. Wide receiver, hands down. I wish like a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr. was coming out this year. That would have been so fucking awesome.
No
Because
doubt.
that guy's a stud. But those other guys on Ohio State and shit, they got good wide receivers there. So if we could get a top guy, because top wide receivers usually go like kind of in the teens, mostly for the most part. If we get one of those studs, man, I tell you, that'd be fantastic for me.
Vin, you look like you want to answer this. You could pick one position, could be offense or defense. Just because of this conversation, I'm just curious to see where everybody's head is at.
He's going to say quarterback, though. That's
well, listen, I said you could do that, right?
You give me quarterback all day long. I don't like the quarterback. I don't like the quarterbacks coming out, though. I don't like the quarterbacks coming out this year. But
Me neither.
If it's a hypothetical situation, always give me the quarterback. Top 3, come on.
Yeah, I mean, but top 3 quarterback, rookie season doesn't really mean much. Daniel Jones had a top 3. I think he had the best season of that year by a rookie quarterback.
Over Dwayne Haskins?
Over Dwayne Haskins. Nah, you can't make
that was a low blow, bro. Rest his soul there.
RP. Sorry, podcast.
Yeah,
I'll bleep it out with a clown horn.
Or Rex Ryan did the same thing. He forgot he was dead. You don't think about that when you're talking shit about sports. Like you don't. Think that.
You don't.
Especially someone who's like
fair enough.
You're talking about fucking Mickey Mantle. Like obviously, like the guy's fucking would have been 100 years old right now. Like
Mickey's dead,
but he's 26 years old. One thing about the Daniel Jones thing that
wait. John, what'd you pick? What was your position pick?
Oh, wide receiver. It's not even a question.
Everybody's on board with wide receiver. I'll be honest with you. I think personally, you could get still a top wide receiver around number 2. And it's been proven year in and year out.
That wasn't the question you asked me, though.
I would actually take a corner.
Hickory.
Because if we got another lockdown corner in that secondary to go with McKinney and all the fucking Belton and all the guys we got this year, love the way he's been playing and the way fucking Adoree has been playing. Holy shit, we might have the best secondary in fucking football with a healthy defensive line.
Good point.
7. Dude, I'm telling you, that could be monumental for what the team, as what we've been seeing this season, has been doing.
Good point.
Jules, I have to ask you this question, though. Now, you're right, and I would agree with you, as the second position I would pick. If wide receiver wasn't on the table, or you said, John, you'll be guaranteed to get a top 7.
Yeah, the genie already guaranteed
it. Right. So, cornerback definitely would be up there. But think about it like this. This season right now, with how this team is playing, with Fabian Monroe playing the way he's been playing this season, he's been outstanding for a position that we were scared of all offseason once James Bradbury left. Then when fucking what's his face went down, for a guy that no one really knew anything about to come in here and play as well he's been playing, he's been making plays. He hasn't just been like, okay, he's been the reason we won a game because of him, specifically with that tackle at the goal line a few weeks back. He's played very, very well. Imagine he's able to replicate that next season and you have that wide receiver. So my point was more with Wink Martindale, if he stays with the Giants as defensive coordinator, I think that he could make more out of less with that cornerback position rather than the wide receiver be able to step up and have top 3 production for a rookie wide receiver.
I'm just going to say one more thing to that. If you put across the team that plays in the other locker room in the same fucking stadium, and you say to yourself, who's had more of an impact for their picks this year? Would you say Sauce Gardner or Garrett Wilson, who's also had a very good rookie year? And I would definitely have to say that Sauce has been the fucking man and has turned that defense around. So you put that kind of caliber player, because we said top 3, and there are 2 other corners that are playing outstanding so far as far as cornerbacks are concerned. Remember, said top 3 for a reason. You cannot take away what that's going to do, because let's take a look at it. Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. I could go on and on and on. All second round wide receiver picks that are fucking nuts. They're studs.
You're changing me, Jules. You're changing my mind now because I'm thinking like, because remember the Giants, they did in the draft, they did want to draft Sauce Gardner, but then once he got drafted, then Tibbs was the next pick. And Tibbs been great first. Let's not
Sure.
get her.
Yeah.
But
Nothing,
yeah,
we're not comparing
Sauce,
that pick now.
but Sauce,
How
dude,
much-
it's like he could close down one side of the field, man.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, that's
it's
heavy.
ridiculous.
How
That's
much better can the
tempting.
defense really get, though? That's the question. Like
That's
we're
pretty absurd.
already a really, really good scoring defense. We're not a great scoring offense right now. So your impact is going to be more, even if the cornerback is an A- and then the wide receiver is a flat B, that flat B is better than the C- by a lot rather than the B- we have out there right now. You follow what I'm saying? There's a lot of crazy letters, but
I wasn't sure if we were talking about music notes or not, but all right.
yeah.
Yeah, you lost me, man. I'm like,
I would
But
say
I'm
that
like-
the corners, they're the elite corners. There's just not as many as elite wide receivers. I feel like they're a dime a dozen wide receivers, and you can get them in subsequent rounds. Whereas the corner, that shutdown corner Sauce, looks really good. And how about Stingley? Stingley looked good, on Sunday. He's getting no real fanfare out of Houston, and he was picked right before Sauce. I thought it was a bad pick by Houston, but it ended up being good. Patrick Surtain was taken last year by Denver. This is a new crop of corners, and they are good, man. They're
Very
really good.
And then look, you take a guy like Amon St. Brown. Obviously, we're going to be seeing a lot of him on Sunday. With no TJ Hawkinson, like they're going to be fucking trying to throw the ball him all day. Dory's going to have his fucking work cut out for him. And the reason why I bring that up is St. Brown was taken in the 3rd round. He keeps a checklist for every time he goes up against a top wide receiver from the other team because they were picked ahead of him. All right. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, so you have these wide receivers that sneak in every fucking year. Christian Watson, 2nd round pick. Look at the game he just had last week in Green Bay. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, these 2nd round wide receivers are available. And if the right opportunity happens with a corner, let's say we got one of these shutdown corners and I don't know, he gets fucking caught for smoking weed or some crazy shit and he drops down to 20th. You bet your ass the Giants need to take someone like that over a fucking wide receiver. So that's the reason why I brought that up. But I thought it would also foreshadow things. And I went in the same Brown and maybe we start talking a little Detroit and we start getting to the picks and we go from there. What do you guys think?
I say, yeah, we definitely got to take a quick commercial break. But yeah, go ahead, John.
All right. So rookie year, his first 2 games he didn't play because Eli was still there. So he played the rest of the season, only missed 2 games. Daniel Jones, yeah. His 2nd season, 2020, he missed 2 games. And then the one time he did actually get hurt, it was a weird neck injury. I mean, how often do you see a neck injury in a quarterback since Peyton Manning? Like nobody. So that's a rare injury to get. And this year he's played every single game. So he's really had one legitimate injury his entire career, and it was kind of a fluke injury. He's missed some games here and there, but maybe more precautionary. Because you got to think, the time he got hurt, the season was over already. So there was no reason to fucking run him out there when he was less than healthy.
Plus, he was trying to just do anything he can possibly do to actually make a play with those sucky teams. So he put himself on the line. He probably shouldn't have.
So people want to make them want to play have that narrative out there that every year he's missing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. Like that's just not been the case at all. He missed 2 games, and then missed the rest of the season with a neck injury. The last year, whatever it was. And then he played every single game this year. So that narrative is a little bit out of proportion of what the actual reality is.
Well,
I want to get that point for
to give you a rebuttal on that, when he got that neck injury, and when you hear neck, and you preface that with Peyton Manning ended the guy's career, like neck is never a good prognosis.
It's a fluke. That's not like a common thing to happen. It's not like you got a broken bone or not a broken bone, but a torn fucking hamstring or fucking.
I didn't like how quiet they were about it though. They're like, oh, he got a neck injury. Maybe he'll be in this week. Maybe he won't. And then we see him the rest of the season. But we were.
It's just mad because you went down to Miami. You thought he was going to play.
I was fucking pissed. He was out there throwing the ball, and then we see fucking Glennon come out with his long ass neck. I was like,
can't miss that thing. It's like a fucking turkey.
But
how weird is that? That we got a neck injury and the guy with the biggest neck in the league came in.
Glennon was horrific.
That's why his neck is strong. He's been working that shit out for years.
People must just stare at that thing when they're in the fucking meetings. Like, look at this guy's neck.
And
he's got long.
You gotta look up his neck.
Is Glennon still
That's
around?
why the receivers couldn't catch the ball. They were too busy staring at his neck.
Yo, my biggest thing, like he could just stare over the defense. He can see over the defense. Like it doesn't matter, man. He's like
He was
fucking.
like E.T. going
giraffe.
home. That shit would just get
Yeah.
larger and higher. They wouldn't even have to fucking come blocking up.
You're right. A big
He's
fucking
a
dumb
free
giraffe.
agent right now.
He's gonna start eating the fucking fake turf and shit. All right. Well, I think we got to take a quick commercial break. We finally got John on board to be a Daniel Jones fan. Thank God. Finally, John. Around. We'll take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back on the BBO NYG podcast. All right, we are back on the BBO NYG podcast. Vin, thanks for coming on. Are you sticking around for these picks? Are you gonna help out and contribute?
Yeah, I'm for it.
All right, here we go. So the stands right now, Right guys in first place, 99. I did the picks last week, so I made a nice little comeback for us since you guys took the week off. So we're at 92. So
what a nice week this guy had.
You know, I had a fucking nice week. Go Redskins. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the people on social media that had my back, was saying like, yeah, cash out, cash out. No, man. Chad Powers never cashes out. So kept that ride in. You know what it is. Yeah, so made a nice little run. I'll give some picks out here and we'll start going. We'll start right away with the Thursday night game. The Packers, they're at home. People are saying the Pack is back. I mean, it helped my parlay, so I was rooting for them, but I don't know if they're really back. They're playing the Titans, and the Titans getting 3 points. I think I like the Titans, guys. I can't go with the Packers. I don't trust them. It's because they want to get Dak Prescott, and Dak Prescott sucks. And Mike McCarthy sucks, and all Dallas sucks. They all suck. Odell ain't going there.
Listen, it's a short turnaround week. I think that's why Green Bay is the favorite. Tennessee is coming together like they did last year, playing good defense, running the football, not making mistakes. The only question I have here is who's that quarterback? Is it Tannehill or Malik?
Tannehill, he came back last week.
Yeah, he did, right? So he's officially good to go. Yeah, I gotta take the points here.
I'm gonna go actually with the Titans here.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll probably stick with the Titans on this one in a grind game.
Oh yeah. This is gonna be like, if anything, the real bet should be the under. Like I don't see this being a high scoring game at all.
Well, that's usually the kiss of death when everybody agrees on a team. So take the Packers if you're smart.
well, no, isn't this a revenge game? Didn't Devontae Adams have like 6 touchdowns against Tennessee last year? Was that last year on Sunday night, Monday night, one of those games?
Oh, was it?
I thought that was last year or the year. I could have sworn it was last year. Where he had like, it wasn't 6, but he had like 3 or 4.
Yeah, it was nuts, right?
And he went crazy and he ended up winning. So there is that revenge factor in play. I thought it was last year, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. Pack is whack. All right, next game. This talk about a revenge game, in division game. Patriots are at home. They're playing the Jets. Patriots are -3. Remember, they lost to, Jets lost to the Pats earlier in the year with fucking Zach Morris looking like fucking just tossed mad interceptions. I don't know what the hell he was doing at Giant Stadium that day, but I'm going with I'm gonna go with the Jets, even though I just dogged them. But yeah, I gotta ride with the Jets. I think they split. They go 1-1.
So the Jets are gonna go to 7-3 and have a good chance to be in first place, while New England at home will lose to the Jets and go to 5-5. Is this what you're telling me?
I mean, it sounds stupid now that you're saying it.
Yeah, I'm not buying. I cannot take the Patriots not when they're not in New England. Like I'm Patriots all day on this. Like, the Jets show me that they can win in New England. I'll be very impressed.
Guys, I gotta run. I'm sorry.
All right.
I gotta run. So it's good. There's 3 of us. That means you got a tiebreaker.
I'll send but chime in on this last one before you run.
Patriots all day. I never.
Right. Thanks, John. Yep, we'll talk to you.
I think the Jets are a better team, better roster, and they should have won when they played a couple weeks ago. But I'm going to say Belichick and the Patriots. They're a roller coaster of a team. That Monday night game against the Bears was surprising to me, but I think Mac Jones will get the groove going, and I don't know. I'm gonna stick with my gut here, and I think the Patriots are gonna once again kick 5 field goals and grind out another win against the Jets. The Jets will make mistakes. Patriots won't.
All right, Patriots.
You can use the override, Mike.
I mean, I really should. Obviously, I'm the winner here. I know how to gamble, so I should just override this play. I'm gonna let you have one because I was going back and forth with that. It's gonna be a tough game. But this next game, I like the Eagles. They're away. They're in Indianapolis to play the Colts. Eagles are -6.5. I think they lose 2 in a row, to be honest with you. They got exposed. Washington like ran the ball down their throats. Philly kind of got exposed by Houston the week before in Houston when Houston was just running the ball down their throats. It's too bad Houston just didn't have enough to overcome that. But Colts with Saturday, I think they get back to that run game.
And Ryan's playing.
And Matt Ryan's back. Like, yo, fuck the Eagles, man.
You know what it is with this game? I feel like the Eagles get out with the W. I don't think they get the loss, but I could see it being like an ugly game where they struggle for a little bit and like they come together at the end. They go for a couple of drives down the stretch, which they failed to do last night, and they actually pull it out and beat the Colts. I don't see Jeff Saturday being this interim coach all of a sudden and fucking winning these type of games. So it's tough for me to say, but I almost want to go Eagles, even with getting -6.5.
Gross.
It's tough, man. Like I honestly will not be betting this game on Sunday, but for today's sake, I'm going the Eagles actually.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are going to win. They have way too much talent. The Colts are in disarray. They continue to be in disarray. They have Jonathan Taylor, which can probably gash them, but that's the only thing I'm thinking of. But I would take the Eagles here. I think it's easy.
Man.
You go override it, Mike.
I just hope Jeff Saturday wins every game the rest of the way except the Giants, just to fucking say fuck you to everybody. You know what I mean? People really made a big deal out of that hire, but he's got the team he had the team play tough, man. Even though they fucking beat who they beat, the Raiders or some shit.
Yeah, but Mike,
probably
Irsay benched Ryan. It was like I don't want him. I don't want to pay him next year, whatever. He gets rid of Reich. He gets rid of the offensive coordinator. And then all of a sudden, Saturday comes back and Ryan's not able to play. It's crazy to me.
I know. They are run rate.
If it was a different team, like let's just say they had to go to Houston maybe, right? Because Houston can surprise teams, right? Because don't forget, Houston had them on the ropes last week on that Thursday night affair. You know what I mean? Like if they were rolling into that game, like if it was reversed, possibly. I could see something be like an upset. But the Colts, like you just mentioned, Vin, they're in too much disarray, man. Like I gotta go Eagles on them.
Yeah, it's this dysfunction in Indy right now.
You guys disgust me. All right, next game.
Sorry.
My team, the Commanders, my second favorite team in the NFL. Tyler Heineken,
by far the second favorite team.
My boy. He's playing. Tyler Heineken is playing the Texans. Texans are getting 3.5 points. I'm going with Washington all day. I love those guys. They came through last night for Chad Powers. God bless those fucking Commanders. Great name, too.
That'll probably be the one and only time you hear that from Mike. But
no doubt.
I'm going to let you answer this one second tonight because I have my opinion with this.
Chase Young comes back. This will be a big game. I guess Heineken's still playing, right? Wentz is not coming back, right?
It's a game at this point in time. They has not announced the starting quarterback. Ron Rivera was noted for that earlier today.
Is Wentz healthy? Is he practicing? I don't.
He's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And here's a question I don't know: Is there any way Heineken takes his job from Wentz? Has there been that talk or no?
There was the fans want it. They don't want one play there.
Yeah, but I'm going to go Washington just because the Texans. They make a lot of, they play hard and they show flashes, but they are one of the worst teams in the NFL. They make a lot of stupid mistakes.
Yeah, they do like stupid.
Yeah, like just real idiotic mistakes to where I'm like, Washington, they're getting healthy. Yesterday was a statement game. If they continue to run the ball and if Heineken plays, they're coached like the way the Giants have been coached. Manage the game. Don't commit to turnovers, even though Heineken does.
Yeah, he does.
I think they're
last night.
Texans. Texans are another bad team to me.
I mean, they have lost 7 out of the last 8. I mean, let's just be fair. They went in and that last win was an upset over Jacksonville. I mean, they're a bad team, and I think that's where Washington gets the edge. However, you do see these sort of layover games after a huge win like they got on Monday night against the Eagles, where this comes back and bites them in the ass because they're on the road. They're not in Washington. Houston's tired of being a doormat.
True.
And they fucking come back and punch them right back in the face.
True.
But, it's hard to take a team that's lost 7 out of 8 games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Coming from a team that just knocked off the last undefeated team in the NFL 10 weeks into the season. So I get it. But like I said, in reality, I will not be betting this game. I know Mike owes them, so he'll bet it anyway. But other than that, I ain't touching this fucking game.
I'm taking
Washington.
I'm taking them, and I'm taking them as my Moneyball pick. They get my respect, those guys. That crazy racist team down south, they get a notch from me, man. I love them. All right, next game. Ooh, Falcons. They're at home. They're -3 against the Bears. I like the Bears.
Falcons are home, you said?
Yeah.
That two teams that I can't really figure out this year. Bears were trading guys away left and right. And then Justin Fields started playing better because he's able to run. The Falcons, I don't understand the Falcons. I really don't. So I want the Bears to win. I feel like the Bears are trending up, but this is a game where the Falcons are going to win because I can't figure them out. Anytime I'm like they're going to lose, they win. Every time that I feel like they're going to win, they lose. Exactly. I'm going to go Falcons on pure, just like football gods.
Dude, you like literally took the words out of my mouth with the whole fucking
they
lose and they don't, they
like
win.
That.
Like, 100%. Like, that's how I feel these two teams are. Watch them fucking tie.
Yeah,
that's a good one. That's a good one.
24-24. Dog, like, that's it. Julie, this is an ugly fucking game. Oh God, this is so tough for me. Yeah.
Fields is playing
high scoring though.
I almost want to take all right, let me just has Chicago won on the road?
I don't know.
New England, we know that. But that was literally their only road win, except for that was their only road win this year. I'm going to go with Atlanta here. Mike, you can open with Chicago. That's up to you, but I'm going Atlanta.
So Atlanta, I'll stay with that. Who the fuck knows, man? You don't know.
I mean,
team showing up. Fuck that game.
Pay attention. That's it.
All right, next game. Giants, they're at home. They're -3 against the Lions. This is a tough one, man. This is almost a game that I said it last week, but I'll say it again. Take the Giants money line and take like the Lions, like buy them a point to like 4 and take the Lions with the points. I could see this being a field goal game. Like Ben was right earlier. Like Ben, when you were saying like the Lions could score, they could fucking score, man. And it's going to be it's not going to be a Houston matchup where they can't fucking score the fucking ball. It's going to be tough. But we are getting Rodarius Williams back. Darius is coming back.
I just think that the Giants are playing that right kind of football. And if this was in Detroit, I would be very afraid. Because it's like I said with Seattle, going out there and playing in Seattle and being on the West Coast, it was going to be a tougher environment to play in with the crowd and everything else. And the same holds true here with Detroit. It's like I felt like we did with Houston. We're at home. We're supposed to win. This is our game. And the coaching's been playing like that. The players have been playing like that. This is a game we have to win because getting ready to go into the division and having teams like Minnesota still out there, 2 games against the Eagles, another one against the Cowboys, 2 against Washington. You can't afford to drop this game at home to Detroit. Like, there's just too much on the line. I think we're ready to play and we beat them.
Now, Jules is stealing everything coming out of my mouth.
That's why I went first. You see, I knew it.
As much as I think Detroit is an improved product on the field and they can score and they're healthy now. You know what I mean? That's what makes me nervous. But I feel like our defense would be up to smacking around the Lions. Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams, Tibbs. We're gonna get after Jared Goff. The Lions offensive line is actually really good.
Really good.
That's why that offense is good. You know what I mean? But I think the Giants will once again try to run. Jones is going to be expected to throw this ball. Like, it's a true test for the simple fact what Jules said. Like, the schedule then gets crazy, and we need this win. Like, as a 7-2 team, we need to be 8-2 going into Dallas on Thursday night. Yeah. We need it. This is so much more important to us than to the Lions season, and that's why I say Dable gets this win.
I thought the Lions would have quit a couple weeks ago after they traded Hawkinson, their tight end, to the Vikings, which was crazy. But they keep fighting, man. Got to give them credit. So watch out for them. All right, next game, Saints. They're at home. They're -4 against the Rams. I think Stafford's playing this week, though, right?
That's the only question I have. If Stafford is playing, I'm rolling with the Rams. If he's not playing, then I would take the Saints.
Right now, they're saying he is. So, Rams.
So then we're going to assume he is. I'll take the Rams.
I'll take the Rams just because their season can't be over. It can't be.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. They got to keep it close. All right, next game, Ravens. Ravens are at home. They're minus 12.5 against Carolina. Carolina starting Baker Mayfield. I'm all day on the Ravens, man. All fucking day. I think they're going to win by like fucking more than 20.
All right. You go.
Like money line, yes. There's no way that you're going to lose. I think, right? If you're still alive and you're survivors and you hadn't used
You
the
want
Ravens,
the Panthers with
this
the
would be a great fucking time to use them. Even though the
That's
Panthers
crazy.
have burned everybody with Tampa earlier in the season, but whatever. With all that said and done, I don't know if I like the 12 points, man. That's a lot. That's a lot of fucking points, man. You're gonna really say that they're gonna win by 2 touchdowns? They can.
I think so, yeah.
You know,
More
no
than that.
Christian McCaffrey. I guess Carolina's season's over. Ravens it is, but I'm not. I just don't like the points. That's just. I'm a little concerned.
I agree with Mike. I think it's going to be a rout early. Lamar. I think they're going to score at will, and then
It's fucking Baker. He can't even see over the defense. He needs fucking Mike Lennon's neck just to be able to fucking peek over the line of scrimmage. He can't see what's going on. He'll throw like fucking 3 picks. All right, I almost want to put that as a best bet too. All right, next game. This is a tough game. Bills are at home. They're minus 8.5 against the Browns. Dude, I don't know, man. It looks like Bills just want to let these fucking shitty teams stay involved in games. I want to take the Browns, but how can I do that? I would feel so stupid if I take the Browns. So I got to take the Bills because I don't want to feel stupid.
Yeah, Vin, you go.
Bills Browns. I'm going to say the Bills come back. I don't think till we get Deshaun Watson in there. And the Browns are a good team. There's talent on that team. Like Amari Cooper, quietly's having an all right year. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna go with the Bills. No real analysis here other than it's time to get Allen right. It's time to get this offense going. Time to get him ready. Like Jules said earlier, he had spurts last year where he kind of fucked around with the Jaguars them and all that. I think this is a get right game for Allen and the Bills.
Yeah, 100%, bro. They win by like fucking 17 this week. Like if they don't and come back and make a statement at home, because first of all, I don't remember the last time they lost back-to-back games at home. Okay, let's just put that there. That's one thing that you got to keep in mind, at least under McDermott, right? Second thing, bro, they need to get right. Like this is like a team that's on their last leg. Like you're at home. People are now starting to doubt you. They've dropped in the ratings. They got to come out and fucking put an ass whooping on them, or else there's some serious shit going on with the Buffalo. So you know what? You could best bet me on this one. I'm going. Right.
Money ball it is. Bills it is. All right, next game we got to speed this up, guys. Broncos. They're at home. They're minus 2.5 against the Raiders. I'll take the Raiders. Fuck the Broncos. They look terrible. I don't know why they're horribly coached, but yeah, I'll take the Broncos. I mean Raiders. Sorry.
Yeah, Vin.
I'll go Raiders just based on Derek Carr's emotions. I feel like the tee's broken. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Raiders are at their wits' end and they got to come out with a victory here.
I think both teams suck, but I got a weird feeling the home team wins.
Great
but
analysis.
I'm not best betting that shit or overriding it. So I guess we're going fucking
Raiders it is. All right, next game. Bengals. They're in Pittsburgh. Bengals are minus 4.5. They're coming off a bye, well rested.
Revenge game. Bengals all fucking day. No doubt about it. Steelers are in a disarray. They got beat earlier in the year. Revenge.
I was going to say Steelers, but I'm okay with the Bengals.
There we go. All right, next game. Ooh, Cowboys. They go into Minnesota. Cowboys are actually favored by a point in Minnesota. This is going to be the game of the week. I'm telling you, it's going to go back and forth. Probably bet the over. I see a lot of points scoring, but there's no way in hell I'm taking the Cowboys. You could count me in as a Vikings getting one.
Here's the one thing that I want to put out there, right? Simply because you got to know that Vegas knows something. Something is not right with this spread. And only because every fucking announcer in America said that if the Vikings get a marquee win against the Bills, they're their team for real. And that's the best team in the NFC. And now you have the Eagles coming off. They're tied for the fucking for the first number 1 seed right now in the fucking NFC. And yet they have Dallas coming in with 3 losses, and Dallas is favored in their home fucking field. Dude, something's not right there. Like it just doesn't make sense. Like everybody and their mother should be screaming Vikings, and yet I don't know. Like something's off there. Like I said, like something is not right, and it's forcing me to think Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys really going to go to 4 losses and be fucking 3 games out of first place in their own division. I don't know, man. And, Minnesota may have been exposed. Let's not forget, Buffalo has the ball on the goal line there, and they decided to go for it on 4th down when they were up 10 points. They could have put the game up by 13 when they only 2 touchdowns beat them. Instead, they chose to go for it. Or excuse me, might even put them up 14 if my math is correct now. And they didn't, and Buffalo went for it. And then you had a fumble in the goal line. That doesn't occur. Minnesota loses. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and Dallas, look, they did their own shit. They were the first time in their fucking franchise's history blew a 14-point lead in the 4th quarter. So, like, I really don't know. There's a weird reason that it's a 1 fucking point game, dude. And that just makes me nervous and makes me think the Cowboys.
This is the Sunday night game.
It's a 4:00 game.
So it's the game of the week. It's the game of the week or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I think the Cowboys are gonna. They have a better defense. I feel like Minnesota has gone away, like Jules said, with some lucky breaks in games. They're a solid team, but I think they are not what their record says. No. I really don't. I think there's some talent there. I think defense has some holes. I think they're an easy out. Once Tom Brady gets, Tampa Bay and they face Kirk Cousins in Minnesota in the divisional playoffs, I think Brady's going to smack them around personally. But I'm going to take the Cowboys here, sadly.
All right, guys. All right, next game, Chiefs. This is the Sunday night game. It's Chiefs. They're -6.5 against the Chargers. Chargers can't stop anybody. I know they might get Mike Williams back this week, but it doesn't look good. And Keenan Allen doesn't really look good. Dude, I'm going with Chiefs all day, man. That offense they're too good, man. They're too good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no analysis here other than say Chiefs. I gotta tell you though, the Chargers, I think their record is better than what we think it is.
They're hurt though. They're hurt. A lot of
they're injured like crazy.
It sucks because honestly, if we were betting this, we could wait till Monday and really get the full injury report and then see if Mike Williams is playing. Yeah. I think if Mike Williams plays, I know Keenan won't, right? Keenan Allen's out 100%. But if Mike Williams is playing and Josh Palmer's been pretty fucking damn good in fucking Keenan Allen's absence, I could see the Chargers fucking winning this game, okay?
Everett went out with an injury. Everett went out with a groin injury.
Right, I know Everett's out, but still, they have the running game. No, listen, with the factor of Williams' status being in the air, Everett being out, and them just having to rely on Palmer, I think the Chiefs have too much power to fucking just beat them in this game, unfortunately. But don't be surprised, man. These division games on fucking big time primetime TV. Look at last night, bro. They have a way of playing out. So
quick point.
I say bet with caution.
Quick point. Chargers coach Staley is horrific. They need to go get a new coach immediately. Him and his analytics. And I'm kind of sick of watching the Chiefs with the primetime games. Fucking over it, Kelsey and all. I can't. Kadarius Toney scoring now. I'm over the Chiefs. I'm officially over them.
I know people love him, man, because they, got Mahomes. They think Mahomes.
Mahomes, I respect.
Yeah, he's great. He's great, but look, he stepped into like a Travis Kelce, best tight end, fast as fuck running backs, a great mind, and Andy Reid as head coach doing all these plays. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from his greatness, but like to be great, you have to have the team around you too. Otherwise, Mahomes would just be good, but whatever. All right, last game. 49ers, they're -8 against the Cardinals, who just lost Zach Ertz for the year. I don't know if Murray's playing. I don't know if he's back, but Cade McNown went in. He played good. He was one of the parlays that I hit betting those motherfuckers. So, I'll take the Cardinals getting 8. There's a Monday night game.
The problem I have with this game is that the 49ers, if you look at some of the power rankings, are actually ahead of the fucking Giants.
Yeah, they're good,
man. 5-4 record, versus our 7-2. They're good. They got Christian McCaffrey. You know what? If the injuries are what you're saying they are, right? So you're telling me Murray's 50-50 at this point and fucking and they don't have Ertz, but they have D-Hop. So whenever you got D-Hop, your offense is still fucking good. But I think the Cardinals are too banged up. And for them to be getting this big of a spread, if the 49ers are real, I got to go Niners here.
Yeah, me too. I'm going Niners just because they're getting healthier week by week. And the Cardinals, they just released their greatest player, Eno Benjamin. So that's the cherry on top.
And he got signed by the Texans.
I saw. Yeah, I think the Niners are trending upwards. It's time. It's time for the Niners to get it going with Jimmy G.
Whose mom did Eno Benjamin bang? That's who I want to fucking know, man. How do you get cut, man? He's fucking doing awesome. All right, so we got those two Moneyball picks. We all agreed on the Titans, the kiss of death. So we got to them as a Moneyball pick. So Ben, you got to choose. You got to pick.
You
I
get
gotta
one
pick one of
Moneyball
those
pick.
games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which one do you
now
like the
what-
most?
Say them again. I'm sorry.
What games would you like the most to choose from? You got the Eagles, fuck them, Patriots, Falcons, Giants, Rams, Ravens.
I like the Bills pick.
You like the Bills?
Yeah, I
What you
already
expect
went
that?
with him, so we need one more.
I like
Yeah.
it.
That was my Moneyball.
Yeah.
Oh, you did that already.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
mine. Yeah.
Well, what's
Yeah.
left? I'm sorry.
Raiders, Bengals, Cowboys, Chiefs, and 49ers.
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Is that all right?
Yeah, I mean, you just said you hate fucking watching them on TV.
Yeah,
but
I'm sick of them,
that's
but
the
they're
Moneyball pick.
they're amazing. You know, the Chargers are
are.
too banged up. Chargers are way too banged up for me.
That's the problem.
they are.
Chargers are
They are.
healthy. That
All
game
fucked
goes
up.
way differently, but with them being banged up, it's not a
Might-
bad thing.
It might be a blowout on Sunday night, I'm thinking. But that's just
Ah.
me. Thanks for coming on, Ben.
Herbert's gonna keep it close for a while,
Thanks
but
for
I
having
see
me,
him winning by
guys.
7 or 10 points for sure. All right, well, listen, Vin, thanks for joining us as
Thanks for having me,
usual.
guys.
All right, we had the whole staff and crew back. We got the whole second half of the season in front of us. Giants sitting pretty at 7-2. It's going to be fun. We got divisional games ahead. We can't overlook Detroit, but that's what's on the agenda, all right? And it's going to be some good second half Giants football for sure. And I can't wait to fucking come back on Monday, and hopefully we're sitting here at 8-2 and things are rolling, and we'll be talking about a fucking Thanksgiving game. But until then, have fun, stay safe, listen to some of our
Go
bets
Big Blue,
ahead,
baby.
and go fucking Giants. We'll see you guys next week.